Hey, Sea Scouts, it's Aven Alexander, the National Bosun for the 2021 or 2020 to 2021 term, but I'm here with the incoming National Bosun, Cassidy Christian, for the 2021 to 2022 term. I am a Sea Scout from East Texas Area Council, and I've had the honor to serve on the national level this past year. And now Cassidy gets to do that, so I'm really excited to be here. Hey, Cassidy.
Hey, Aven, thank you so much for introducing me. You and your team have done such a phenomenal job this past year, even through all of the COVID troubles. You guys have done just outstanding. You guys will be a hard act to follow. Hi, everyone. My name is Cassidy Christian. I'm from Ship 444 Centennial in the Denver Area Council, and I'm dual enrolled with Ship 25 Sphere in Ithaca, New York. I'm currently serving as the Western Region Bosun of Administration. I'm so excited to be talking with everyone here today.
That's so good to hear. We're really excited to just talk here today, just get to know a little bit more about Cassidy and have a fun conversation. So we have a couple questions here just to get us started and we can chat about them. The first question is, what does Sea Scouts mean to you? And wow, that's a really good question. Cassidy, do you want to take that one first?
Sea Scouts is the best program ever. Something really unique about Sea Scouts is that we're ages 14 to 21. I'm currently a college freshman. There's no other program or scouting program where I can do so many amazing things. Sea Scouts is also so unique because even if you're not directly on the ocean, you can still do paddlecraft, you can canoe, kayak. I've scuba dived before. There's so many possibilities.
Yeah, for sure. I joined Sea Scouts actually my freshman year of high school. This year I'm a senior and I'm graduating in May, so I'm super excited about that. But I joined Sea Scouts as a freshman in high school, and wow, it just blew me away from the second I joined the program. From the moment I was at my first meeting, my first event, I just fell in love with the program as a whole. It was my introduction to scouting in general. I had never been in Girl Scouts or venturing or I really wasn't even educated about Eagle Scout or what that was at all. And so Sea Scouts was my, just entry level into the Boy Scouts of America. And just being a part of a program where your version of fun was going out on the water. Like, I grew up as an East Texas kid. Like, you go to the lake for fun in the summer, you go tubing with your friends and it's fun. And so just getting to do that like on the weekends with my ship was insane, just to do as like a hobby. And then you throw in this leadership and just wearing these cool blue uniforms and just going to fun events and things like that. And Sea Scouts to me is just like my passion for scouting. Like, it made me fall in love with the program as a whole. And now I'm into the Order of the Arrow, and I'm in Scouts BSA. Cassidy and I are both female Eagle Scouts in the inaugural first class of female Eagle Scouts, and that is so awesome. I'm also in venturing, which is super cool, working towards Summit. And so if I had never joined Sea Scouts, like, I wouldn't have been in any of these other programs that I love so much. And so all of them are just super cool, but Sea Scouts definitely is the best one in my eyes just because it's special to me.
Sea Scouts allows you to do so many different things that if you weren't part of Sea Scouts, you might not be able to ever do.
Yeah.
The possibilities are truly endless. Ooh. Aven, I have a question for you. As the current national boatswain, what has been your proudest accomplishment?
2020 has been crazy year. And so whenever I interviewed and became national bosun and found out I was going to be it, that was like before COVID even like spread to the US. And so it was like very early. And then I started my term and I had to finish the year of school online, and it was really crazy stuff. I didn't get to go to national annual meeting in person. And so the whole year just got thrown for a loop because the National Quarter Deck always has done meetings over Zoom and things like that because you're from across the country. And so it was really normal for me to do Zoom because of that. But then the rest of the world had to go on Zoom. Anyways, COVID just made the term crazy. And, the little Churchill moment that was kind of crazy. Everybody was being real crazy about that. And just several different things have happened this year. But even though that's happened, our team, I'm not going to take full credit for what my team has done because I am merely just like the leader of my team. But in that same way, just equipping them to do all of the amazing things that they've done, it's been really proud for me to have met people from different states, from Colorado, from Florida, and work with them on a daily basis. And just, I've seen them grown as people throughout the past year, and I've seen them go off and achieve the goals that they set 9 months ago. And so it's really cool to just see my team grow, and I'm really proud of them in that way. But I'm just proud of myself and Martha in a way for, just coming this far and just doing this really cool job that I love a ton. Cassidy, I guess kind of just to like exchange that question, what are you most excited about? Like, what are you looking forward to in this job?
I'm really excited to work with, like you were saying, it's been such an honor to work with people from across the country, getting those new perspectives and new ideas. All of that creates the best program. The more people we have working together, hopefully the better the outcome will be. So as National Bosun, I'm very excited to lead a group of 16 territory bosuns. It'll be a transition from our current area region model to the new territory model. But I believe this is such a great change that the entirety of Boy Scouts America is transitioning towards right now. And there's going to be such a huge influx in ideas. I'm so excited to be starting this new project.
For sure. Something that I'm really excited about for you is the territory change because being on national, your job, our job is to support councils, to support individual ships and individual scouts. And whenever you have, all the layers in between national and council, like a lot of stuff gets lost, it gets crazy, and there's so many jobs to fill. But cutting out those two middle layers and just making it one, it's like you have territory bosuns as the middleman, like they're working with the national bosun, they'll be working with the council bosuns, and so you just have that one middleman except for two. And so I'm really excited to see how like effective your communication is going to be next year, because whatever you say, the territory bosuns can turn around and tell their council bosuns, and then it's going straight to ships. So I think it's going to be just, a total plus, and it's going to be really exciting to see that. Another question that we got asked was, what has been your favorite Sea Scout experience? And I'm really excited to hear what you have to say about this, Cassidy.
Favorite Sea Scout experience. Every summer, my entire unit, we're a ship, crew, and troop as well. We go to up in the mountains at this huge lake called Lake Wellington. At this annual summer camp, we're able to sail, kayak, rowboat, swim. It's so exciting. From the newest Webelos to our oldest Sea Scouts, we're all able to create such a strong community together and really show the progression from Scouts BSA and into the older youth programs. It's such an amazing experience. And the fact that we're able to be on the water for an entire week, even in landlocked Colorado, and try so many new activities, it's really such an amazing time. Aven, what's been your favorite Sea Scout memory?
I have so many, but all of them have been at events, like Sea Scout events, like going on trips and things like that. And I definitely have a lot of like really like funny stories, but I think I have so many favorite, but one of my favorite experiences was whenever I went to SEAL. And I know I talk about SEAL a lot, and it's because I loved it so much. But I'm a Texas gal. I'm from East Texas, and I had never really left the state at all. I had never been on an airplane, and I decided I don't want to go to SEAL in Galveston because I've been to Galveston. I go to Galveston all the time. I want to go to somewhere new. So I decided I was going to go to Seattle for SEAL, in Washington, crazy. And so I did it though. I got on a plane by myself at 16 years old and I flew on a plane to Washington and I got off the plane. Like it was crazy. I had never been in an airport before and just that experience alone was crazy for me to experience. But the whole week was so fun. I got to meet several scouts in my crew were from Texas, and a few of them I had seen around at events, but I didn't really know them. So it was really good to spend time with them. And I got to meet a couple Sea Scouts from Northeast region and Central region. They were all in my crew. We all worked together the whole week. And it was just super, super fun. I know I talk about SEAL a lot, but I definitely recommend it to anyone who hasn't gone. It's just to piggyback off of what you were saying earlier. It's something that Sea Scouts offers that not a lot of programs do. Because as a Sea Scout, you can go to NAIL and you can go to NYLT, but who's going to go to SEAL if you're not in Sea Scouts? Because you have to go with like the knowledge of the Sea Scout manual and you have to have seamanship and you need to know how to navigate. Like those are tough things to do. And if you're not in Sea Scouts, you're not likely to go to that just intense leadership course that totally changed me as a person and my leadership style for the better, may I add. But it was super fun. I'd never been anywhere other than Texas. I got to see mountains. It was just crazy, like just such a fun time. It was really good. And you're going to SEAL this summer, right?
Yes, I am going to SEAL this summer. I'm so jealous that you got to go to SEAL Seattle 2 years ago. I was supposed to go to SEAL Seattle last year, but because of COVID, it was canceled. Um, Currently, my application is being processed for SEAL this year. I should learn really soon which course I'll be in. I'm so excited to meeting those new groups of people and bringing in those new perspectives and seeing what Sea Scouts is like all across the country. SEAL, something really special about SEAL too is only about 6 to 8 kids and sometimes fewer kids are in a SEAL course compared to NYLT, which is up to 30 kids. So really
Yeah.
the relationships that you make at SEAL are really strong and you're able to keep those bonds for a long time even after the course. It's the only course that really exists in the BSA that's like that. It's so unique.
For sure. I actually, whenever they announced me as National Bosun, I had someone from my SEAL course text me and say, "Hey, congratulations. I'm so proud of you." And I was like, "Thank you. Like, I haven't heard from you since SEAL, but this is so awesome that, I know you and we had that great time together." And it was just a really fun time. So, to anyone out there listening, go to SEAL. It's super fun. It's the hardest thing and the funnest thing that you'll never want to do again, but I say that in the best way. So good luck to you, Cassidy, whenever you go to SEAL this summer. It'll be super fun. Just another question we had. This one is specifically for Cassidy. Um, why did you want to be the national bosun? What was your interest in it? And just talk about some of your goals for this year.
Role of National Bosun is such an honor. I've seen Aven, I've seen Hannah Carter be so phenomenal in these roles. I really admired them as leaders, and I wanted to see how else I could enhance my leadership experience. Something really with being National Bosun is you get to create a lot of ideas and then really start putting them into action. Some ideas that I have for how to really expand Sea Scouts include how can we get Sea Scouts into NYLT? How can we get Sea Scouts into more high adventure? Another thing that I would like to start with the National Quarterdeck is leading Scouts BSA merit badges so we can have younger Scouts see and look up to older Sea Scouts. I feel not only should Sea Scouts be a separate program from the BSA, from Scouts BSA, we need to show that progression from Cub Scouts to Scouts BSA to Sea Scouts. There's so many more opportunities that people have in this amazing program. And I really want to show people that there are so many other things in scouting.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's really fun at the beginning of your term to just think about, like, wow, I have the honor of serving in this position. And now I have to, set all these goals and like be specific in those, set smart goals and lead a team of just the most outstanding youth in the country. Like the kids I've worked with, not even kids, like these kids are adults. They are so professional. I love everyone on my team. And just working with them is truly special. And just working with them, all having like common goals and seeing them do awesome things in their region, it's just so fun. And I'm really excited for you to be able to do that with your team. Another question we had was for our Eagle Scouts, since we're both in the inaugural first class of female Eagle Scouts. The question is, what was your Eagle Scout project and what merit badge was your favorite?
For my Eagle Scout project, I really wanted to give back to my community. Um, I think almost a year ago today, I became a Life Scout. So I was just starting to think about Eagle Scout projects. And of course, at that time, that's when um, schools were shutting down and the pandemic was really spreading across the nation. So, um, because every school shut down in my school district, my elementary school wasn't able to plant their annual garden. The garden is a really big deal with all the kids every August. Um, I almost call them scouts. The students go out and pick the fresh vegetables and fruits, and it's a really great community event. But due to COVID, they weren't able to plant their annual garden. So I reached out to my elementary school principal, and I was able to help repair the garden beds. I was in charge of 9 garden beds. I had to restain them. Some of them were starting to fall apart. I had to repair them. And then throughout the summer, I planted and cared for all 9 garden beds. It was a rainbow of food. It was so much fun. And then I was still in town when the younger kids were able to come and see the garden, and seeing their faces. Not only were they excited to come back to school, but to see the tomatoes and the pumpkins and the zucchinis, it really made their day and made them excited to be back in school. So that's what I did for my Eagle project. Aven, what was your Eagle project?
My Eagle project was really cool. I wanted to give back to my high school because so many of my teachers, so many people on the school board, they are all really supportive of our Sea Scout ship that we have in town. And they're super supportive of just me and my accomplishments and everything. Just really wanted to give back to them. And my mom actually graduated from the high school that I go to. So, our family's gone there and everything. So we were talking about things we could do for the school, trying to figure out certain things. And it was honestly kind of tough to think of something because I'm blessed to go to such a nice school, like an amazing school. And I was thinking about it, and my school, I love my class, I love my students, but man, we have no school spirit. Like our games, our pep rallies, like wow, I can't wait to go to A&M in the fall because I know that is the college that has just amazing school spirit. I'm so excited. But we were just thinking about it, and we sing our school song at all the pep rallies and all the games, but nobody says the words. We just sit there and listen to like the instrumental being played by the band. And my mom told me that in the old school gym, they had a school song on posted on the wall, and everyone would face it and they would turn to it and they would sing it, and it would be like it was just a source of like school pride for them. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a sign. And so it was really cool, just the whole process. I got to work with some really awesome professionals to get this sign made. It's an aluminum sheet and it's really big. And I gave it to the school and it was awesome. And the maintenance staff got it, bolted into the wall in my gym, and it just looks so beautiful. And I'm so proud of it. And it looks really good. And I know it's going to be put to some good use after, next football season, whenever they get to do pep rallies and things like that. So I'm really excited just to give back to my school in that way. The other part was, what merit badge was your favorite? And I'm going to also ask you, Cassidy, how many did you get? Did you get any palms?
I got a lot of merit badges. I was a
Mm.
senior last year during the school shutdown, so senioritis really kicked in. I didn't have to do any schoolwork. Um, what I did instead was online merit badges. Um, During my time in Scouts BSA, I completed 106 merit badges. Um, all I did, it was a great time. There was nothing else to do besides merit badges.
Wow, that is so crazy. Like, I wish y'all could see my face right now. My jaw just dropped. That's insane. Do you even have a favorite if you did over 100?
My favorite one, I'm really interested in business and American labor. So, American business and American labor were actually my favorite ones. I was the oldest kid on all of my Zoom calls, and really none of the younger scouts understood what the merit badge counselor was talking about, but I was into it. I was excited. I got to talk about labor unions. I had a really fun time. And of course, I loved doing all of the water based merit badges up at summer camp. Even during last July, when most things were closed, my unit was able to have our annual summer camp with all of the COVID safety regulations. So that was a really huge blessing that we were able to do that.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. My favorite merit badges were aquatic merit badges because, hello, I love Sea Scouts, and those were ones that went along with what I love to do. And I actually got to go to this really amazing leadership program in Longhorn Council, which is in Texas, called Aquatic School. And if you live in Texas, please look into going, or even if you don't live in Texas, whenever I went, we had someone fly in from Massachusetts to come to aquatics. It was crazy. But man, this leadership program is like no other. You spend the whole week on the water. You get to do some awesome merit badges. You do swimming, life saving, rowing, canoeing, and then you also get kayaking and about 90% of public speaking. So it's just a crazy jam packed, you're in the water more than you're on land, and you get to make a ton of cool friends. I still keep in touch with people that I went to aquatic school with today, but my favorite merit badge was probably either life saving or swimming, just because I loved learning those merit badges at the pool. They were so extremely fun, and it was my introduction to life saving, which after I got that merit badge, I worked as a lifeguard at like during the summers, and that's been a really cool job for me. But the year after that, I staffed aquatic school as the swimming instructor, and that was just an amazing time. And sadly, I won't staff this year because I'm going to Philmont for the Sea Scout and Venturing, week out at Philmont Training Center, and I'm really excited about that too.
Aiden, can you elaborate more about the Philmont Training Center event for older youth programs? I've seen it on Facebook all over. Do you have any sneak peeks at all?
I'm not really sure how much I can share, but I know it's just going to be a fun week at Philmont Training Center. It's focused on the older youth program. So, Sea Scouts, Venturers, Explorers, we're all welcome. I know plenty of people on the National Quarterdeck and the NVOA are going to try their best to be there because we've been on Zoom this whole year, and I'm ready to meet some people, and I'm ready to kick everyone's butt in Uno and just play some fun games. Like, I'm so excited to meet all these people. So it's just going to be a fun week of, just leadership training, and we're going to be at Philmont. So hopefully we can do some cool activities. I haven't really seen much, itinerary type stuff because it's still a few months out, but it's going to be really fun. I'm just excited to meet people and just spend time meeting people and talking with you and like playing games, just doing fun stuff that you usually get to do at scouting events. So maybe that's a little bit of what it's going to look like. But if you go, I'll be really excited to see you there. And anybody listening, if you come, I'll meet you. I have these really cool patches I can give out, and I hope to see you there. So that'll be fun.
Philmont isn't by the water, but you can still enjoy so many scouting opportunities there. The fact that this will be one of the first in-person times that National Sea Scouts and National VOA and so many other scouts from across the country will be able to come together and talk. That'll be such an inspiring event. And I know so many great ideas will be formed once everybody is together again in person. I really hope to go this summer. I'd love to meet everybody who's involved there. It's such an amazing event. One question that I have for you, Aven, is I'm starting my Quartermaster project. Do you have any tips? What was your Quartermaster project?
Wow, that's such a really good question to ask. So I think I did my quartermaster project as I think I was a sophomore in high school. This was a while ago. And this I was a sophomore. Like I had been in Sea Scouts for like 2 years and I was getting some leadership experience, but I had never and I'd gotten community service hours, but I had never led a community service project. And so that was the first time I got to do this. Something my home ship, our home unit is really passionate about is helping kids in our community that are in foster care and CPS. It's something that our adult mentors and the girls in our unit are just really passionate about. And so a really cool thing that I got to do was for my quartermaster project, I ran a book drive. I guess that's what I called it. I set up donation boxes at several high schools in my community where kids could donate books that they weren't using anymore. And what we did was we took all those books. I got several hundred books. Like it was a ton of books. They were so heavy. I had to load them all in my car and they were super heavy. But I got to take them up to the CPS office. And the reason for getting books was because a lot of the times whenever kids are taken from their families by CPS to a safer environment, they have to spend several hours at the office before they can be placed into a proper foster care family or a different alternative for them. And some kids can stay up there for hours to like a day. And you don't get to pack a bag, you don't get to take your stuff, they just take you and you go. And so kids will just sit in the office and do nothing. And so I raised these books so that way they could just have something to do. They could have something to comfort them or take with them whenever they go to their foster home. And another girl in my ship actually made it her quartermaster project to decorate the room at the CPS office where all the books were and give them it has comfy chairs. It's just a really cool place for them to hang out while they're there so they can feel more comfortable about their situation. Some tips I would say is plan everything in advance and try not to rush yourself. I was trying to rush myself because I was doing my project during April because it was Child Abuse Awareness Month. And I wanted to rush and like do my project in April to support the cause. And that was a part of my project also. And so I think I started planning the project in March, like the month before. And so everything just like blended together really crazy, but we got it done and it was successful anyway. And regardless, whatever idea you have, it's going to be so amazing. It's going to benefit the community regardless. So I think it'll be really good.
That sounds like such a great project. You impacted so many people with it. Um, you set a really high bar for everybody else in your Sea Scout ship. Um, what I'm thinking right now for my quartermaster project, um, my Sea Scout ship, we just started a community partnership with a local sailing nonprofit. The nonprofit helps kids that normally wouldn't be able to sail to get out on the water. And it's kids that sometimes have trouble getting all of their school supplies. So I hope I'm able to do a backpack drive for them over the summer before school starts up next year again. So they'll be all prepared. Hopefully next year school will be all in person. We won't have to wear masks. It'll be back to normal. So I hope to give those kids a chance at a sense of normality too.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know just scouts in general are just really excited to get back to having in-person events. I'm actually going to a venturing rendezvous next weekend, and I was going to go to this event last year, and it was the first event that was canceled because of COVID that I was going to go to. And now it's the first event I'm going to get to go to like post COVID. And so I am just so excited for that. I'm ready to start seeing some people and just keeping those safety precautions in mind, but still being able to see people in person instead of Zoom.
That's really exciting. I remember last year, my very last normal event was my council's Venture Sea Scout banquet and ball. It felt a little weird going to it because it was like, is this allowed? Is this legal? Like, can we have this big of a gathering right now? Can we really be sharing food? Um, And then everything after that, the very next day, anything else was canceled. So it was nice that at least I got a party with my fellow scouts right before lockdown.
Yeah, that's actually really good timing. That's cool because you can look back on it and that's just a fun time. Another question we got is just for me to expand on SEAL a little more. For SEAL, I was aboard the ship Propeller, which is a Army T-boat. It's really big, all metal, crazy, just learning how to just run the vessel itself was just a really big challenge. And the crazy thing about SEAL is not only are you there with people that you haven't met before, you're also on a boat you haven't been on before. You're not familiar with the vessel or the people or the staff or the course itself. And it's just, you're being thrown into this crazy situation. And something crazy about my SEAL was we you have to be bosun of the day. That's just how SEAL is. And we did bosun in alphabetical order. And luckily, my last name starts with an A. So I had to go first. And it was crazy because my whole first day of SEAL was me trying to figure out where everything was on the boat. Like I was forgetting people's names. There was two kids who had the same name and I couldn't, like, it was crazy. So that was really fun. But favorite part about handling the boat was that the helm was, I forget exactly what we called the room because this was 2 years ago, but it was in this elevated like crow's nest almost. So you had to like step up this like mini ladder up to get to where the helmsman was. And it was really cool because you just stood there, and whenever you're not bosun you go through a rotation, and our rotation was you got to be helmsman, and you circulate around, and so you get to be up there with the skipper and the navigator. And some of my favorite times was just when we were underway and I got to hang out up there. And of course I was worried about steering, and you have to follow the right bearing, and if you slightly move the wheel then you go like 3 degrees off course. So you have to, I'm not a very steady steerer at all. I'm not really a good helmsman, I'd say. On a sunfish or something, it's different, or on a paddle craft, it's different. But whenever you're, handling this gigantic boat, it's very sensitive, I guess. And the Pacific Northwest in general was just a really great place to visit. I had never even seen Seattle really in pictures until I like looked it up. And the only thing I knew about Seattle was like the Space Needle. But I got picked up from the airport and it was just really cool driving through the city. It was nothing I'd ever seen before. I saw so many Teslas. I felt like everywhere I looked there was a Tesla, Tesla, Tesla. And the skipper of my SEAL course, I love him. He was awesome. Skipper Macon, he told me so much about Washington in general, like fun facts. I know Texans are very prideful of Texas. Like we love Texas. I love Texas. And I I'm sure that Skipper Macon loves Washington almost as much as I love Texas because he just loves sharing fun facts with me about the place. And so it was very educational, but also fun. And Cassidy, you live in Colorado, so you've seen mountains, but this was really cool for me to see. So I thought the whole course in general is really fun.
Might be a mountain girl, but I'm so jealous that you're closer to the ocean. You can go down to Galveston Bay and have an amazing time sailing. I don't know which SEAL course I'll be on this summer, but I really hope I get to be on the ocean and get to enhance my leadership skills that way. That'd be such an amazing experience. Ooh, Aven, another question I have for you is what is the culture of the National Quarterdeck like? I mean, you guys seems like really great friends with everybody. How did you foster that atmosphere?
Okay, I'll let y'all in on some tips and tricks. If you are the leader of a team that has a bunch of kids from across the country who have never met before, and you want everybody to get along and you want to start establishing trust, like I had to learn about these people. Like, sure, I know you're from this state, but like, who are you? Like, what are you about? Like, what's your favorite fast food restaurant? Like, what do you do? Like, what grade are you in school? What hobbies do you have? Like, just bonding is so important. And I think one night, whenever I was, it was the before I was even in office, I was having a Zoom meeting to meet with my regional bosuns just to like hash out some thoughts and ideas and just be able to inform them about some stuff. And we just talked for hours, like hours and hours. And this was during quarantine, but also like the end of the school year. And so I didn't have, none of us had school the next day. But the really cool thing was I stayed on Zoom for way too long with my region bosuns. We just hung out for hours, stayed up all night, just playing games, like talking about stuff, and just really got to learn a lot about them. And we actually watched the sunrise like 4 different time zones with like everybody. It was crazy. And not I mean, sure, I'd recommend it, but that's just what happened for us. And that's how I got to meet my region bosuns. My national bosun's mate, Martha, I had actually known her before, and she is absolutely amazing. I love her a ton. She's just an exceptional leader. So I had kind of already known her, but everyone else on my team, I really had to get to know. And whenever you become friends and you're like enjoying the people you're around, it makes the meetings more fun, but also it helps you kind of hash out, because of course you're going to come up on issues, like no matter what team you're on, or it could be sports, it could be school, anything. There's going to be issues. Like, we are imperfect people, and so there's going to be issues sometimes. And so whenever you care about these people, whenever you trust these people, like these are your teammates, you are so quick to run to the issue and want to fix it and hash it out and be able to work it out with your team, because that's what a leader does. And that's what, good team members do, is they resolve issues. And so that's what I've had to do in my job. And that's definitely something I've learned over this position. And a valuable lesson that I've taken away from it is conflict resolution in a way. So whenever you're bonding with your quarter deck, I don't know, just maybe talk on them with Zoom for a while or play some games, just make it fun and interactive. And just, you are not counterparts, they're your team member first, but friendship should definitely be a second, because it makes it more fun.
It's so impressive how you were able to build such a strong community, even without ever meeting so many people in person before. You guys are such a strong team. And even though outside of Scouts you've never met before, you were able to really bond and grow together and become even stronger leaders.
Mm-hmm.
One other question that I have for you, Aven, is what are your future plans for scouting or in scouting?
Oh, wow. So, personally, I'm finishing out my term as national bosun right now because I committed to that. And that's something I'm still really excited. We still have several things to do before the end of the term. So, I'll be busy. Personally, I've gotten my quartermaster and my eagle, and being the overachiever that I am, I really want to get the summit. So right now I'm pursuing rank advancement in venturing, and that's also really fun. So I'm trying to get that in the next few months, because I want my summer to just be really just fun. I'm doing like a senior trip with my friends, and I'm going to Philmont, and I'm going to be working at a camp, and it's just going to be super fun. I want to have just a really fun summer. And in the future, we'll see what's in store. Whenever I'm grown, I would love, like, my dream like volunteer job would be to be a skipper of a ship. Like, I would just love that so much, just being able to help kids the way that like my mentors have helped me, and that's just a really impressive thing to do. What are your plans? I know you're obviously the incoming national bosun, but what are some of your personal plans in scouting?
My major plans this year as National Sea Scout Bosun, I really hope to achieve the rank of Quartermaster and complete my Quartermaster project, complete SEAL. Really, I want as many Sea Scout experiences as possible. This summer, I'm attending NAIL as well at Philmont. Right now, I'd be at Philmont back to back with the older youth program event and then NAIL. So New Mexico for life. And then
That'll be so fun.
I'm planning on attending my unit's summer camp as well and being a lifeguard there. I'm also dual registered as a venturer as well. I'm hoping to rank advance and achieve my summit award. I'm still volunteering with Girl Scouts of Colorado. I'm part of their global action team committee. We're planning a lot of World Thinking Day events. A couple of weeks ago, I was able to interview a Girl Scout, or actually a Girl Guide from Bangladesh. Really exciting. I love that Scouts, it's so global. I went to World Scout Jamboree in 2019, and thinking about it now after being quarantined essentially for an entire year, I was there in West Virginia with 45,000 other Scouts from over 100 countries, and we were all able to really create a global village. So I hope to attend another World Scout Jamboree in the future as a IST, as an adult volunteer. So there's so many opportunities in scouting.
Yeah, my goal is to go to a jamboree, and wow, like that's so amazing that you got to go. Well, you were at World Jamboree. I was at SEAL. Like my SEAL crew, we were at SEAL and we were like, man, they're really at World Jamboree right now. And we were just like, having the time of our lives at SEAL. And I actually joined my Sea Scout ship right after National Jamboree in 2018. Like National Jamboree happened, and then like just a few short weeks later, that's when I joined Sea Scouts. So I haven't gotten to go to a jamboree, but I really want to. I was supposed to staff the jamboree the next national jamboree, which got canceled because of COVID. I was gonna staff it, but it's okay. It's okay. Other things are coming. We have other things planned, and it's all right.
Well, there's going to be an Inter-American Jamboree at Summit Bechtel, where that will include all of the South American countries and Central American countries as well. So I think that will be in 2022, maybe. It's coming up. And also there's the World Scout Moot in Ireland in 2022. So hopefully by 2022, things are really back to normal so we can enjoy scouting even more.
Yeah, that'll be so fun. I really want to go to all of the high adventure bases. And so this summer will actually be my first time at Philmont, which I'm so excited about. And I was actually going to go to Summit for National Venture Fest last year, which got canceled, and I'm really sad. I was also going to go to NOAC last year, but I'll stop the pity party. I'm going to go to all of these amazing places and events just, at a different time. So we'll just be looking forward to the future of those things. Speaking of NOAC, I guess I'll tie this back into personal ambitions in scouting. I'm also in Order of the Arrow, and Order of the Arrow is so incredibly fun. I'm going to go to my section conclave here in April, I believe. I need to register for that, so I kind of just reminded myself. But in a few weeks or so, I should be eligible for Vigil honor if my lodge, if you're listening, wow. I'm not saying you should nominate me for that, but I just love spending time with my lodge. I served as the lodge secretary last year, and that was a super fun job. And just all of the OA events are just everything I love about scouting, just the patch training and the fun activities and the leadership training and all of those cool things. So I'm really excited for our conclave that's coming up.
Just had my lodge banquet earlier today. It was virtual. It was supposed to have an in-person component, but we're supposed to get 2 to 3 feet of snow over here in Colorado this weekend. So they made it all virtual.
Wow.
I really like how adaptable all of the scout programs have become this past year, being able to go online. But going back to Order of the Arrow, I'm also a Brotherhood member in my lodge. I did my Brotherhood ceremony last October, and that was one of the few in-person scouting events last year. So that was
Yeah.
really exciting. Another cool thing about having Sea Scouts in the Order of the Arrow is that it's a great way to recruit people. I always show up wearing my Sea Scout uniform to OA events, and they're like, "What are you? Why are you wearing this?" And then that's when you get to tell them, "I'm a Sea Scout. Sea Scouts is awesome. We're for 14 to 21-year-olds, and we focus on aquatic activities." So really just showing up in your uniform to OA, that's where you meet other overachievers in scouting, and that's how you recruit into your ships.
Mm-hmm. For sure. I went to my first section conclave, which was before COVID. I got to join OA pretty much right whenever girls were allowed to join in 2019 because you have to be a certain rank. But if you register through Sea Scouts and if you're an ordinary Sea Scout, then you can go ahead and do your ordeal and everything or be elected to do an ordeal. And so that's what I did. And this was probably one of my most proud I'm a proud female making history moment was whenever I went to my first ever section conclave with this girl in my ship, and we were the only two girls at the whole section conclave, and we were also the only two people wearing Sea Scout uniforms at the section conclave. And so not only were people being like, "Oh, there's girls here," they were like, "What uniforms are they wearing? Like what is that? Like what are you doing?" And so a lot of the questions I got weren't about me being a female in scouts. It was, "Why is your uniform blue? Like, are you in Sea Scouts? Like, what is that? Tell me about it. Like, what's it about?" And so that just opened a door to some great conversations. And I actually know I have lots of friends in Scouts BSA who, especially ones I met through aquatic school, they would tell me, like, "Man, once I finish my Eagle, I'm going to transfer over to Sea Scouts." And they call it seagulling, like you Eagle and then you go to Sea Scouts, which I kind of did the reverse opposite because I started in Sea Scouts and then I got my Eagle. So I guess we're both seagulls because we do that too. But I think that's a little popular term in my East Texas area is to, get your Eagle and then transfer over to Sea Scouts. And that's an amazing thing because we're always wanting new Sea Scouts. We're always wanting new kids in the program, and we have lots of really cool things to offer. So definitely come join Sea Scouts.
Or seagulls. Exactly.
Yes. For sure. If you love scouting and you excel in one program, if you got your Eagle, why not continue the adventure in a different program? Like a lot of our recruiting just makes sense because if you already have kids who love scouting, you can do more of it, but we're switching up the curriculum. Like the requirements for quartermaster are pretty much nothing like what you do for Eagle, being someone who did both of them. Like they're different. All of your quartermaster ones are aquatic based requirements. And so also, wow, this I'm glad I remembered this. The reason I love quartermaster, just earning quartermaster, is because there's four ranks and the first two are mainly about learning information, like, okay, what is seamanship? What are the knots? What is navigation? Just learning these things. And then the higher ranks are all about teaching those things to other Sea Scouts. And I totally meant to put that in there earlier when I was talking about my quartermaster project. But one of the things I absolutely loved and totally elevated all of my knowledge about just seamanship in general was teaching those requirements, because the best way to learn is to teach. And man, I got to do that a ton with just the girls in my ship. And I got to teach different presentations and requirements at Sea Base Galveston at certain events. And wow, it just makes the whole award so much more rewarding because not only do you do a community service project for your community, you're also teaching just Sea Scouts in the program and you're helping them advance in their journey. Because whenever I was doing apprentice and ordinary, there was older girls in my ship who were teaching me, and then I got to turn around and do that for someone else. And so I just love that about our program, and I love that about our requirements too.
I agree. That's what makes Sea Scouts so unique. I know a lot of scouts that once they hit first class in Scouts BSA, they tend to trickle away. They're busy. They kind of do the bare minimum to get up to Eagle Scout. But with Sea Scouts, you really have to stay involved and continue giving back. You're really seen as a leader in your Sea Scout ship unit. And that's one of the beauties of earning the Quartermaster rank. It's not just about doing one service project, it's about going out and continuing to serve not just your community, but even smaller with your ship and inspiring the next Sea Scouts to earn their Quartermaster awards.
For sure. And that's why only 0.02% of Sea Scouts get their Quartermaster. It is tough, but man, it's so rewarding. And it's probably it's my most proud award. It truly is. I've gotten some really cool things in scouting over the years, but my Quartermaster is my most coveted. I'm so proud of it, just beyond anything. And I know you're going to be so proud of yours too when you get there. It'll be so amazing. Just everything that you put into it just makes it all worth it.
Giving back to my ship right now. Right now, my ship, we're a fairly new ship in Colorado. I'm one of the oldest, and we're recruiting so many new youth because we're the only ship around pretty much. We're starting new ships too, which is really exciting. But with the new youth coming in, it's so important for them to see leaders who are excited about Sea Scouts, who are continuing to teach them and give back.
For sure. I love just whenever I joined Sea Scouts, just seeing my unit grow as a whole. Because I kind of joined my unit whenever like a bunch of girls joined, like we kind of all joined at the same time. And so just being in it just over these past 4 years, just wow, I've really got to see my unit grow and my council in my area. And then now working on national, just seeing so many different great things happen all across the country. You get to see just really more closely what councils are doing, how are ships excelling through COVID, like what are people doing to go the extra mile. And in a few weeks, we're going to find out, our Sea Scout Leadership Award recipients. And those youth and adults who receive those awards, just hearing what they did to earn those awards just makes me so in awe. Last year, I got to hear just some of the people who got them on national, and just seeing just wow, like these people love the program so much and they just did some really amazing things. And now they kind of just get, this award just to represent that. And that's really cool. I think we're going to start closing down. Cassidy, did you have anything else for any listeners out there?
Everybody listening, thank you so much for tuning in. It's such an honor to be your incoming national boatswain for this term starting June 1st. I can't wait to see what's in store for Sea Scouts. Aven has done such an incredible job laying great groundwork, and I can't wait to see how we're going to build an even stronger foundation there.
Thank you so much. And just to talk to all the Sea Scouts out there, I'm sure that by the time you're hearing this, territory bosun applications will be closed. But if you would love to serve in a leadership position outside of your ship, talk to your skipper or your council commodore and be interested in a council bosun position. Those are going to be such vital positions to fill this year, especially with our new territory alignment. So just ask about those and get plugged in. Don't just, sit there and be like, man, it would be cool to do that. Just make it happen. If you want to go to SEAL, apply. If you want to do all these cool things that you think are just so amazing, make it happen because you can totally do them. Just take charge, drive the boat, all that cool stuff. And we'd love to see you around sometime. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope you guys are having a great day and a great time. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll hopefully see you soon. Bye.